What's good, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the What's Good Games podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Renee, joined by Miss Brittany Brombacher.
Hello.
Hello. So normally this is where I would say this is your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff. But this week is a special week, everybody, because the Game Developers Conference, GDC, and PAX East are happening at the same time. It's madness. Why? It's a lot. So we decided, you know what would be fun? If we record a special episode to air this week, and we got a wonderful panel together, including two fantastic women from the Roblox community. Before we dive into what we talk about, I want to give a shout out and thank you to this month's Patreon producers, Chewy's Godson, Alex Rigopulos, Faris Attieh, Justin Foshee, and Punkdefied. And if you want to join our Patreon community, you can do so at patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. And Brittany, let's just assume that somebody has left us a wonderful 5-star review, shall we?
Yeah, thank you, Ashun, for your 5-star review. We always appreciate them. They help us in the algorithms, and it makes us feel warm and fuzzy.
Yes, I love it. And we will definitely check in on those when we are back in the studio when we return from Boston. And hopefully, if you guys are listening to this, you're on your way to Boston. We'll see you at our panel or our meetup, because we would love to hang out with you guys IRL. I also want to let you know that this week's episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by Factor and Kudos, but we'll tell you more about that later. All right, so Brittany, let's talk about this interview. So both you and I not really spent any time in Roblox before we decided to talk to these wonderful women, Anne and Jenni. What were your expectations going in? Were you like, are we just going to talk about like how to play Roblox?
I honestly, because like you mentioned, knew close to nothing about Roblox. All I knew is that my friend's little son was playing it a whole bunch back in the day. Always saw him on an iPad. I don't do a lot of gaming on my iPad. So I was just really curious about learning what is Roblox, and just from outside of a game perspective, what opportunities can it provide creators? And there is a whole nother, dare I say, metaverse out there.
That is the correct word, actually. Roblox is indeed a metaverse.
Yeah, where people are, they have careers and they're building businesses and they're creating digital items and they're making a living doing this. And I just think that was a really fascinating thing. And I wanted to learn all about it. And I did. I learned a lot.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, why don't we get into the interview? Enjoy. I'm Andrea Renee, joined as always by Brittany Brombacher. Good to see you, friend.
Hello.
And we have two very special guests joining us for this very special episode. Please welcome Jenni Svoboda. Did I get that right?
Hello. You got it right.
Amazing. She is a digital artist, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. And also, we have Anne Shoemaker here, who works in the video game development community at Fullfower Studios.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, ladies. We are here today to talk about not only what you two do in video games, but also about what you two do in Roblox. So it was a really amazing set of conversations that led to all four of us getting to chat today. And I want to thank both, Riana and Sam for coordinating all of this. I've been talking to them about trying to do something with Roblox for a long time. And I was like, what if we got some really cool ladies from your community on to talk about what they're doing in Roblox? Because it feels like people don't really understand the concept of what Roblox is these days because it's so big. So I would love to start with you two and talking about kind of how you got started in Roblox. So Jenni, let's start with you.
So about 2018, the early part of 2018, I was introduced by a friend who kind of sort of was like, hey, come check this out. It's funny. It's blocky. You're going to have fun. It's like a lot of gaming. It was introduced to me kind of sort of just as a gaming experience. I went in there and immediately was like, nah, this isn't really, like, I want my cute, full-figured, beautiful avatar. I want, much more detail. I was like, this is where kids play. This is Lego vibes. I'm not feeling it. It took her about a year to convince me to, like, go in and take it very serious and be like, girl, you've got to get in here and just start designing and try it. And so I did that. And I want to say about 6 months to 8 months, roughly, I was accepted into the Roblox creator program. And then from there, here I am.
So what was your background before then?
So designing wise, I've been doing it for, over half of my life. I started in my early teens. Started in The Sims and then a lot into Second Life for a while. But for me, Second Life kind of felt like the smaller over time, the smaller little fishbowl of a community with a lot lower of a player base. And the work I was putting into it, to my creations, and that's like way much more high poly designs and work. It was just not paying off financially, and also it was harder to it felt like sort of like appealing to your local neighborhood. It's a much more smaller community, and then so I was there for years. I worked in Second Life, I want to say till about 2020. And then during the pandemic was whenever I went like full throttle on Roblox, or kind of right before the pandemic hit.
Awesome. And we're definitely going to dive into that in just a moment. But Anne, I'd love to hear from you about how you got started in Roblox.
Well, basically, I was a kid. I was 11, I want to say. And during that time, I was really bored and I wanted to find a platform that involved interacting with other kids, and it would be a lot of fun or whatever. I used to be on Fantage and those kinds of sites, and Toontown as well. But then I found Roblox and I fell in love with it because it was such a creative platform. And then around when I turned 13, I was really interested in these games that were building games where you could hop in and you could build houses with your friends. And so I was doing that a lot when I first started. But then the game that I really loved, it broke, and the developer that made it did not want to do anything to fix it. So then I opened up Roblox Studio when I was 13 and I tried to recreate the game for my friends. And I did. And I had
can we stop for a second and talk about the ambition of a 13-year-old saying, my favorite game broke. You know what? I'm just going to make it myself. That is amazing.
It was a mess to start. They have all these free assets that you can get off of the Roblox marketplace. And so I didn't know how to program or anything. So I just kind of threw things in there, and there were a lot of bugs, but my friends really loved it. So it worked out.
Wow. When I was 13, I was just playing Final Fantasy IX on my PlayStation and hoping for the best.
Well, see, I don't want to say it's a mirroring thing, but that's how I felt when it came to I would go into Second Life or The Sims, and I'm like, this is not the outfit that I want to wear. Let me fix your game, or let me fix, So that attitude is it's exactly what kind of fueled me at a young age too, and. Gosh, I don't know where I would be if I hadn't followed that passion, because, I don't know where I'd be.
I think we should also just take a minute for those who don't know what Roblox is, and layman's terms, since the two of you are very obviously familiar with it. How would you describe what Roblox is?
I would say Roblox is a virtual space where people can be super creative and do literally whatever. I mean, some people are on the platform just to hang out, and then there's other people who want to create careers on it, like Lovespun or Jenni. She makes virtual clothing, and that's super cool. And then I do both virtual clothing, and I started a company, but you could honestly just be a single person and hop on the platform and try to create anything. It's just a very creative space, is what I would say.
Yeah, it's very, very open to anybody who wants to come in, and not just the kids. And that's the biggest misconception I feel that goes on with Roblox, is that people think that it only is appealing to children, and it's very much not. Not only do I have to only focus on making kid-friendly items, but I can kind of sort of age up some of the fashion that I create, or accessories, or even a little bit of the development that I'm even getting into, and make it a little bit more fun for a 17 to, 30-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's definitely, the place to be for just people who are kind of sort of wanting to jump into a world and they don't know what to do. And everything is free when it comes to resources, for finding out just how to learn and create. So, yeah.
I think Roblox as a brand has changed so much over the last even like 5 years, but they've been around a really long time. And clearly there's a lot of parallels to Minecraft. I think that's the other platform that they really get kind of compared to quite a bit. But I mean, Roblox is definitely verging more into metaverse than just video game these days. You obviously can just log into Roblox and just play video games. You don't have to create anything, but they obviously give you all these tools if you do have the desire, like the both of you did, to create. So just a couple quick stats for people who aren't up on how big Roblox has gotten. As of Q4 2022, there were 58.8 million average daily active users. Let that number sink in for a second. 58 million people every day logging into Roblox to play or to create something, which is phenomenal.
Wild.
And the fastest growing age group, as Jenni mentioned, is 17 to 24. There's literally billions of hours engaged that people are playing in the game. Plus, there are user-generated experiences on the platform as well. In fact, over 32 million user-generated experiences is the number that the team at Roblox provided us. And that is kind of like a mind-blowing figure that many people are creating.
I don't even think that I could go, like, I don't even think a human could go to every single one. Maybe somebody should start that journey just to visit every single one and vlog it, and let's see if it's possible. It'd be interesting. That's how much is on there.
Jenni, I would love to hear from you about a little more of kind of like your day-to-day job as a digital designer, somebody who clearly has a background in fashion, but also has a background in video game programming and coding. The kind of the intersection of that I think is really fascinating. This idea that you're not designing necessarily a piece of clothing that somebody is going to wear like IRL, like in a physical space, but instead a piece of clothing that somebody is going to wear in a virtual space, in a digital space.
As someone who's not super familiar with this, how does it go about that someone commissions fashion from you?
What I would do, if a client were to approach me, usually what we do is Roblox will reach out to me directly, and they'll say, "Hey, X brand wants to work with you," or we will have maybe it could be a user on on Roblox platform itself. It could be a company that's in Roblox developing, a developer company in general in Roblox. Or just even the metaverse as a whole, like as a commission type of work or a commission type of job. But I guess where I'm going with it is that usually I'm approached. I would love to kind of approach others, but I am kind of scared. But sometimes, but definitely. I guess I would say my process though, or my day to day would be, I kind of live in my 3D software program, and I am just scouring Pinterest, scouring, TikTok and Instagram for trends, or what I can do to kind of sort of merge the two of what's up here in my imagination, and then and even tapping into my childhood just to be colorful or fun, and bring in the merge of kind of real life fashion with something that is absolutely completely impractical in real life that you wouldn't want to wear, or you wouldn't even be able to wear, rather.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting idea, because I think a lot of times when we're dressing our avatars in video games or in these digital spaces, your memojis and whatnot, we don't necessarily stop to think of doing something that is not physically possible in the real world, to do something like fantastical or completely just kind of out of the box. I know that I usually pick avatars that look as close to me as possible, but other people like making avatars that have purple skin, and they're really tall, and they have 6 arms, if that's a thing in the avatar builder that they're in.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that kind of puts a interesting, unique spin on the idea of creating fashion for sale in digital spaces, because how do you think of those weird things, right? My brain kind of melts a little bit.
Yeah. So when it comes to just all the endless combinations and possibilities and things like that you can do, people really like they will shout it at me on my socials, like what they want made. There's so many endless combinations that you can put together in Roblox because there's just so many different things from faces to, and I'm talking about like your normal everyday face, maybe makeups that you probably couldn't wear in real life that you would want to portray. Or for instance, my avatar usually rocks pink skin, and I don't have pink skin. And lots of pinks. I don't get the chance to really wear pinks. I don't feel like it compliments me too much. And I don't know, but yeah, like the combinations that it's pretty endless. It truly is. Like you can do so much inside of Roblox. And when I say like the combinations, I mean like people can take, you know, a skeleton's arm, and then on one other arm you can have a big muscly arm, like the muscle emoji, for instance, and you can merge the two together. And some people pick that up as a trend. I think one of the biggest trends that I've seen in Roblox in general is people love to wear their avatar without a head. And I mean, the hair is there, but they do not have a head at all. And I think I think when I had first learned of this trend, I was just completely dumbfounded and fascinated by it, because I'm just like, how and why? And there's only a small gap and period of each year where you can get this one package on Roblox that you can actually buy where you have no head. And so everyone package. Yeah, it really is. And I finally did get one, and I was like, yay, I'm so happy to have this. Never wears it. But, you know, it was one of those things that I was, you know, just like, let me get this. I've got to do it. So the combinations, again, though, it's just about as endless as, and just so many things that you could do as much as it would be as endless experiences on Roblox. Like, there's just so much content. And that's what I love about it, is because you really truly can find your online identity through all of the options, the skin tones, the hairs, the clothes. I could go on, but yeah.
Anne, I'd love to hear from you as somebody who's also been in the Roblox community for quite some time now. What are some of the things that you've seen change over the last couple of years in the community? Either features that the development team has added that you're like, hey, that's really cool, I can use that in making my games, or something that you've seen the community create?
Man, there's been so many iterations of Roblox, I feel like. From the start of it, it definitely had like that feeling of blocky aesthetic and Lego vibes and that kind of thing. But then like as things progressed, it started becoming more and more realistic, and they continued to release like really amazing tools to create incredible scenes. I love creating 3D spaces. Like I started off on Roblox just building things and like trying to be creative, but as time has gone on, everything has just improved so much, between having features of like fancier lighting called the future is bright is what they wanted to call it, and then also we were allowed to start uploading 3D assets to the platform. That wasn't a thing until like I want to say 5 years ago. And once that happened, everything changed so much. I think that was the time where people actually started giving me jobs, because there were very few people on the platform that could 3D model. But if you knew how, everybody would commission you. And as a 16-year-old, that was very awesome, because I would DevX, which is the developer exchange program, and I would buy Starbucks. I would just buy Starbucks all the time because I had the money to do it.
Hey, I love that that's what, you wanted to use your money for. I think that's what, getting started in the workplace, no matter what you're doing for work, is all about, is saying, hey, I want to do something that's going to like reward me for the things that I like.
It was a cycle. It was like caffeine, work. It was great.
That sounds like our life too.
Sorry to interrupt this fantastic interview. We hope that you're enjoying it, but we do have a message from our sponsors. This episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by Factor. Power up for springtime with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Get nutritious, chef-prepared meals delivered straight to your door, leaving you time and energy to tackle everything on your to-do list. Are you too busy to cook? Well, with Factor, not only are you skipping the trip to the grocery store, but you could also skip the chopping, prepping, and the cleaning up too. That's right, folks. You too can live the dream of playing video games after you put the kiddos to bed and not spend those precious hours doing
doing more dishes. That's because Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy. With 34 chef-prepared, dietitian-approved weekly options, there's always something new to try. Enjoy meals for any time of day with breakfast options like egg bites, smoothies, and more. Plus, replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 45 add-ons. And if you're trying to cut back on meat, or maybe meat's just not your thing, eating vegan or veggie is a snap with Factor because each meal is prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians, so you know that your Factor meal has all of the ingredients you want and nothing that you don't. But if you're looking to mix it up, or if you're looking to bulk it up, you can add protein to select vegan and veggie meals each week. Head to factormeals.com/whatsgood50 and use our code whatsgood50 to get 50% off your first box. That's code whatsgood50 at factormeals.com/whatsgood50 to get 50% off your first box. This episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by Kudos. What is Kudos, you might be asking yourself? Well, I'll tell you in just a second. But first, let me ask you, do you shop online? If yes, do you use an app to find the best coupons? Now, if you answered yes again, that's great. Saving money is what all the cool kids do, truly. But you should also use Kudos to get the most cash back. Because who doesn't love cash back, right? Kudos is a free shopping extension that not only helps you pick the best credit card to use at checkout, but it also doubles your rewards on over 15,000 sites. That's right, more rewards on the shopping you were already going to do anyway. That means if you usually get like 3% back from your credit cards on sites like Sephora, MeUndies, or even HelloFresh, someone's been looking at my browsing history, you'll now earn 6% with Kudos. That's basically free money on top of the free money you were already going to get. The best thing about Kudos, though, is that it's so easy to use. Add Kudos to Chrome on your iPhone in just a few clicks, shop like normal, and Kudos will automatically appear at checkout and handle the rest. Now, I was shopping at MeUndies the other day because they were doing this amazing loungewear sale. If you missed it, don't worry, they're going to do another one. They always do. Kudos not only helped me get the most rewards, but they also reminded me of some of my hidden card benefits, like purchase protection. I bet you guys didn't even know that most of your cards out there have it. Sometimes you do got to read the fine print, right? It's amazing, you guys. Just rewards on top of rewards. I can't say enough about this. It really is a no-brainer. In fact, Kudos has saved the average user over $750 per year. Imagine all the things you could do with that money. So don't wait. Use code What's Good to double your rewards and get Kudos for free by going to joinkudos.com/whatsgood. That's joinkudos, so joinkudos.com/whatsgood, so they know that we sent you. Okay, everybody, let's get back to the interview. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the things that you're currently doing. So, Anne, just sticking with you, I would love to hear about the game that you're making. So you're currently developing something called the Sandbox Place, correct?
Oh, yes.
And you've worked previously on things like My Droplets and Mermaid Life and other projects. Are you ready to talk about Sandbox Place, or is it still pretty early in development?
Honestly, it's like the silliest project that I have started. I switch my mind up so frequently on things that I want to focus on. Like, I am like a dog and I see a squirrel and then I like want to go do that thing. So I have my day job. I started a company. I am not allowed to do like any game development ever. I have to simply write documents and make spreadsheets and tell everybody else to go have fun and make things, but I don't get to do any of it. So
you're the producer is what you're saying.
Yes, it is. It is a lovely job, but at the same time, I scream all the time. But after work, when I'm done with my day job of working at Roblox, then I get to work on my side project that is the Sandbox Place. And I get to I basically just go on Twitter and I see what are these other developers making. And then I open up the Sandbox Place and I'm like, I'm going to try putting this in my game. It makes no sense. It has no purpose, but I just throw things in. So at this point, the Sandbox Place is my sandbox and not really anybody else's sandbox, but it'll get somewhere.
So why do you choose to develop games for Roblox as opposed to anywhere else?
It's just way too easy to make a game and throw it out there for people. Like, I've seen other platforms like Unreal and Unity, and there's just such like a longer process of trying to get a community and release it on different platforms and just get your game up in their store. But like for me, I can literally like have no money, open up Roblox Studio, build something, throw it out there immediately, and get a community in there immediately. And I've never seen any other platform be able to do that. So it's just really easy.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm kind of diving into just barely. So announcing Love Spun is coming out with a little, experience somewhere around the summertime. But yeah, it's definitely like what Anne was just saying is that it is 100% one of those platforms, I feel like, versus other gaming platforms where we can just jump on. The tools are there easily, and you can comprehend what you're doing a little bit more, I feel like, than in Unreal or what is the other one?
Unity?
Yeah, Unity and Unreal. It just feels like it's a little bit like just to reiterate on what Anne had said, that it's a lot more, I think, just easier and more inviting, and kind of just, if you are a developer, it's more friendly to it's just a bit more friendly to want to be able to put out, or to learn it, or to even like get started in it, because the learning curve with creating a game, I feel like, is just, it's pretty big up there, and so.
Oh, I heard that making video games was easy, isn't it?
Oh yeah, anyone can do it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure, maybe, quote unquote.
Honestly, though, I've been hiring a lot of people off platform too, and they've been coming onto the platform, and they're literally learning how to use Roblox in less than a week, because people in this community are just so helpful too. Like, you can reach out to anybody and they'll be like, oh yeah, here's this long list of things that you can do, and you can go on the wiki, and there's tons of developers that just post tutorials all the time. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody is having a good time.
So basically there needs to be a Roblox university, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
There actually is. It's a place on Roblox. Somebody has made it.
I'm not surprised that it actually exists.
Me neither. Okay, so we have 58 million average daily users, which still just absolutely boggles my mind. So like you said, to simplify it, you can make a game, you can put it out there, and the community is there. What is it like managing that community? Because I imagine with that many users, maybe I'm just so used to the video game industry. How is the toxicity in those communities?
Honestly, my communities have been really sweet. I have made games mainly for like little kids. So my droplets specifically, maybe like the only thing that has happened, there was this one kid that was like, why don't you update the game? But he was just like a cute little kid, and he's like, please update your game.
That's adorable.
Or like, my droplet is so stinky and I can't do anything about it. There's a bug, and so I would just go in and fix the bug. But like, my communities my communities are just too tiny to be toxic, to be honest.
That's smart.
But I do feel like you have to kind of treat it like you're the teacher sometimes, and it's a classroom, and you've just kind of watch out for those few that are going to be a little toxic. But for the most part, I feel like Roblox kind of covers, like they have so many guidelines that and things like implemented into Roblox where you kind of just like instantly, if you're there to cause hate or drama or, toxicity type vibes, they're going to, kind of ban you on out. It's a goodbye for you. You can maybe start over again whenever you've had some time out, time out, or maybe go outside for a little bit and come back.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you guys haven't had problems with that, because I assume that you play other games in addition to Roblox from time to time, and you know what it's like to work in some of those other spaces or play in some of those other spaces, and it can obviously get really challenging. Is it something that you are kind of mentally preparing for as you get a little bit older and your audience gets a little bit older, and people start to change how they communicate with you and with each other? Or is it something that you're like, that's a future me problem?
I generally live by that standard of, this is going to affect me in the future, so I'm only going to think like this far ahead of me.
I don't blame you for being like, what? Let's not worry about that today. Well, I think that's a layup, like a super wonderful thing to hear, that you don't have to worry about those spaces. I think it leads to the question of, is there a way to let people know, hey, if you want to come into a safe space, come join my Roblox community. Are either of you doing specific kinds of outreach to let other people who are fans of video games know that, your community exists?
Yeah, I generally, right now, my company is putting like a larger focus on social media and trying to build a community. So we're starting to release things on TikTok and Twitter, and then we're also updating our website to reflect things more. I think we're also going to be getting on YouTube, and obviously we have like Discord and Guilded, and we're building community spaces there so that everybody can communicate with each other. But yeah, we're trying our best to build good communities and offer a safe space where people can hang out. And there's definitely going to be like a lot of hurdles of like making sure that we moderate things well and have like a no hate policy. And if you are being toxic or being mean, then you're out of there. There's no timeout. You're gone. Get out of here.
That's Brittany's banhammer method as well.
For me, I feel like my audience is a bit kind of like, or my community is on Twitter right now a bit. And also within my Roblox group on Roblox.com. And on there, like, it's, to me, they have no problem letting me know what they want or what inspires them. They can even relate where I go and do my nails and I show them off. Like, I just do it for fun. And everyone, like, I'll have the few people that I know who kind of sort of want to see that type of stuff, I engage with back and forth. Like, we are not friends, like, on a like bestie close, like we know each other like that. But I know that name. Like, I've seen that name, I've that username often commenting on my releases, my stuff, or real life related things, anything. And so I just feel like that kind of like the way to be able to connect that way is just a beautiful thing to me, to be able to connect through social media, through digital creation and fashion, and then a random nail post every now and then, or or whatever.
We love a nail
think
post.
it's a beautiful thing. Yeah,
That is so true.
I've got to share it. Just have to.
I love seeing your nail posts. They're very inspiring.
Thank you. I always love your tutorials. I got to throw that out there.
I love the love. I think that this is great. I mean, it was one of the main reasons we wanted to talk to both of you, because I think there's this misconception about what it's like to be a woman working in the video game development community and to be a creator on a platform as massive as Roblox, and that it's not welcoming and it's not friendly. And we're trying to spread the message that, you're wrong. It's actually really cool and there's lots of cool people. I mean, do you find that you have lots of other women that you know and connect with frequently because of your work with Roblox?
I was one of like the first women to like make games on Roblox, like be a Roblox developer. The first time that I went to the Roblox developer conference, I was one of 2 girls there out of like 100 people. And that was really surprising. But as the years went on, there has been so many more women kind of coming on the platform, and they're all like just so excited to hang out and meet each other. Like, I'm part of so many Discord groups of just like a bunch of different female creators, and we just are in there talking about our day and having a good time. And I'm just so happy about the space now. There's just like, it's great. I love it. It's very wholesome and it's not lonely anymore. Like, I'm definitely seeing such great improvements.
Yeah, I have a kind of a funny story when it comes to Anne, is that this last year at the RDC 2022, I had not met her yet, but I had been a huge fan of Mermaid Life, and it was inspiring to me to dive into developing more, just in general. But anyways, with Anne, I remember I had a couple of glasses of champagne, and she had just won an amazing award. And I was making my exit after we were kind of like the award show was over, and I had by chance bumped into her, and I was a little just way too lulu la la la, out there. And I'm like all in her face, barely even know each other in real life. And I'm like, I'm happy that you won this award. Congratulations. And I'm just like, so, amping her up. And she's looking at me like, Thank you. Like, what do I say to this crazy person who's, like screaming at me? But
It was so cute. I was like, yes, you were a little bit tipsy, but it was really cute. I was excited to meet you too. Honestly, like I was seeing your stuff on Twitter, all of the beautiful fashion pieces that you made, and that fact that you knew who I was shocked. I was excited.
oh my gosh,
That was really cool.
the same way around.
Andrea, I feel like we need to quit this industry that we're in, this side of the video game industry, and join this side.
Clearly,
because,
we're
my
doing the
heart.
wrong thing. Why are we making podcasts? We should just podcast exclusively in Roblox. Let's
I'm
do
just
it.
like smiling, and my heart is so full. Like, I think this is so important because I think a lot of folks, don't understand the importance of inclusivity and having more women on your platform, whatever that platform is. Like, it means so much, and it has such an overall a large impact on whatever we touch. You know what I mean? We make shit better. That should just be a women's motto.
I
just
agree.
say.
I agree.
And one of the things that
And
I
then,
found really interesting, and I would love to hear from you two on your perspective, because I don't think I quite have an answer yet, but I get asked, it's like, why aren't there more women content creators, more women developers? Because we hear this stat all the time that half of video game players globally are women, 45% or 50% or 55%, depending on, which demographic you're looking at. And it's like, yeah, a lot of women around the world play video games, but not that as many make video games or talk about video games on Twitch or YouTube or in podcasts. The number goes down quite dramatically. And it's like, well, why is that? Like what is it about the content creation or the development process that is off-putting potentially to women who enjoy playing games but don't necessarily want to create in games? And I was like, I don't think I've been able to quite put my finger on it, because you hear about these positive experiences happening. Do you think it's just perception?
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, I think it's just like you don't see it enough, and so it discourages you yourself from doing it. Like when I started Fullfower Studio, the only other people that I knew in my developer community that had started companies, they were all men, and I got a little bit jealous, and so I was like, I'm going to try it out too. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to start a company, and it was a really big decision, and I should have thought about it just like a little bit more, because the first couple of years were a lot of chaos, and the thing where it's like, Mom, can come get me, I'm scared. That was kind of like my experience starting a company. But yeah, I just think like more people need to be in the space to inspire other people and encourage people to just go do things that they wouldn't necessarily do originally.
Preach it.
Yeah, and I do think that seeing, more female developers do what Anna's doing, and slowly what I will be really seeing, which I haven't said much yet, but I think it'll inspire more women to jump in and want to do it, of all ages. It doesn't have to just be a 13-year-old going on and coding inside of Roblox. And I mean, even now with ChatGPT out, or GPT, however I say it, out, that helps so much with, females who do not know how to code. And I mean, I almost could segue into what Carly Kloss is doing with Code with Klossy. She's teaching young developers who are specifically female, and the younger age group, to learn how to code so that they can slowly develop whatever they want to develop, whether it be a game, a Discord bot, or, whatever, just anything you can code. So, and then, that would be our future, maybe 10 years from now. I definitely see, Gen Z and even younger just going up, and that's what they're going to learn. I can see it in my head when I'm this old crone, I can see just a lot of the younger generations who will be our age by then, or by that time, developing more, maybe, and hopefully, because they saw that, people like myself and Anne did this, and it was a fun experience, and it wasn't as intimidating or scary or hard as people it is. I mean, everyone has their little hiccups and hardships when it comes to coding and developing and stuff like that, but it's always something that you can't problem solve, or it's not like a Google question away.
Jenni, I know you've worked with some really big names in the fashion industry, people like Karlie Kloss and some other people, but I heard that you also had this really fantastic opportunity to work with Carolina Herrera on a dress. Can you tell us a little bit about like what this dress is?
So this dress was for the Spring Fashion Week collection for New York Fashion Week. And it was for Carolina Herrera's. And they had approached me with a 2D concept. And from there, I was like, okay, this is something that we need to do straight from like, here's your concept, and this is what you need to make exactly like this. And so with that, I took the 2D concept, created it into a 3D gown, presented that to Karlie Kloss and Carolina Herrera, which is the exact same dress that Karlie Kloss wore down the runway during New York Fashion Week. And so from there, it's now at about, on Roblox, it's now at about, I think, 900,000 Robux worth, roughly.
Wait, like what? Almost $1 million in-game dollars to buy a single dress?
Yes, and this is just one dress. It was one of the first layered clothing dress pieces that was put out as a limited item on Roblox, if not the first. So for it to be something that I like that was worn by the amazing model Karlie Kloss down a runway in real life, and to be able to have that opportunity to have, you know, the chance just to recreate it in real life, and they specifically approaching me to do it was just. It was one of those moments where I had to like bring my head back down and like reattach it to my neck, because I was just starstruck and completely shocked that, you know, they wanted me to do that. So
wow. Congratulations. That is so cool.
Thank you so much. It was a fun one. That was a fun project. And to see the success of that dress go on, and it will forever be on that marketplace is another, just, I can't say enough how much I can talk about like how beautiful Roblox is and the metaverse, but it's just a beautiful thing to see that dress be able to just flourish on the catalog and the worth of it, the digital version of it. So it was awesome. Yeah, awesome experience. When it comes to what I'm doing, one thing I will say is I'm for anyone who's a Love Spun fan, which I don't know how many there are, but I will say I'm definitely coming out with that home store that everybody has been screaming at me for. And I have a little bit of a fun twist on it that was kind of inspired from a music video with Doja Cat.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, it's a little bit underwater, but it's also like, it's going to be multiple environments. So it's not just underwater, but it's going to start underwater. And I will say a train is involved. So we'll go with that.
Okay. So, interesting. Yeah.
And each little cart of that train will have something, I'll say that one part, will have something little special in it. It sounds so goofy, and it's like, what do you mean a train? But what I have in here, and what I cannot convey properly, but I can like create properly, or just make it, is it's gonna work out in the end, and it's gonna make sense in the end. So just trust me. Trust me.
That's the magic, though, of creating digitally, is you can do that kind of stuff, and it makes sense within that world.
Yeah. Absolutely, it does, especially in Roblox, because you can almost do like the unbound, like where we're bounded on Earth, and or the limits that we have on planet Earth. Like, I mean, we're basically on Mars. You know, I mean, not really, but in Roblox we are. We're in a different planet, and that's what's so beautiful about it, is that we are in that space where it's endless possibilities, from fashion to gaming to development, and to wanting to go into an MMO and wear a dress and kick butt. I mean, honestly, just that alone is enticing for women and for me.
I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to what's happening now, because, I mean, you said a lot of things that in reality are like, I don't know how that would work, but obviously in a digital space, completely different. And Anne, you have a lot of stuff going on too. You're going to be speaking at GDC.
Yes. It is really cool, because for a long time, I feel like Roblox developers were not seen as game developers, but I feel like this is for all of the OG Roblox developers. They're going to see somebody that's like them at GDC talking, and I think it's going to be really cool. Like, I'm excited. I have no words. I've never been to GDC, ever.
Well, you're going to
I
rock
will
it.
be rooting for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're going to crush it. It's going to be great. And it's frustrating to hear that, you know, you've faced maybe some snooty people looking down at your history as a developer using the tools within the Roblox platform, because I think that's what's so amazing about where we're at with video game development, is that it's become so accessible to so many different types of people that why would it matter which tools you start out using, as long as you're making something inspired and something that people find value and happiness in, right?
Yeah, like, stop gatekeeping game development. There's many forms of game development, and we need to respect all of them.
It's so true. It's like makeup. There's no rules, you know?
No rules.
Like, you can use lipstick as blush. I mean, there's no rules when it comes to development. So you do it your way, and if it works for you and it gets the job done, then check mark, you know? Yeah. I mean, of course, hopefully there's no bugs, but I mean, I always anticipate that whenever you're developing, yeah.
The bugs make it better. The more bugs, the more character your game has.
The bugs make it better.
Yes.
That's also Bethesda's motto.
And really, you know, I want to say it to like add to that is that, you know, it's like within what I think with development is that I want to see more, you know, fun in it instead of just grind. You know, we don't want to just constantly grind. We want to have fun and not just grind for nothing. We want to have fun and get a good reward back. And that could be in the form of fashion, or it could be in the form of, you know, an awesome goal that you create, like a quest that you've gotten, and it's an item that's, you know, something that you need within your game, or like the game that you're playing to progress to the next level or whatever. You know, we want just more fun instead of the
fun
grind.
being had.
Yeah.
What a wonderful way to kind of wrap up our conversation. Brittany, do you have any more questions that you want to ask?
No, I just want to say I really appreciate y'all taking the time to have this conversation with us. I am someone who's never really been around Roblox. I've heard about it. And, you know, as to Anne's point earlier, it was a dear friend's little child who was playing it. And I would see some of the things he was playing, but I never understood. And I think just you opening up and talking about the struggles you faced, and with the development maybe not seen as real game development, stop gatekeeping. I love hearing about the women in the industry and the support group that it sounds like y'all have formed. And I just think this was really eye-opening, and I hope it also opens up other eyes of folks who have been listening. So thank you. I think this is really important to be having these conversations about Roblox and the work you do.
Yeah, it's truly not all bad or all kids. Everyone is welcome. Yeah. And that's what I really truly just want to put that message out there. Everybody is welcome. Mm-hmm. And everybody is welcome to develop, like Anna's doing. And she is to me just making, she is the inspiration. I feel like, you know, the head, the inspiration to all of us. I guess that's the best way to put it. You are just an inspiration. I just want you to know that. But yeah. And
honestly, you are too, though. You are too. I'm inspired.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, we're the ones who are inspired, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and being on the show today. We would love you to let people know where they can keep up with what you're working on and what you're doing. And where's the best place for people to follow you and kind of keep tabs on the Sandbox Place and everything else you've got going on?
Well, I have a YouTube channel that has about 4,000 subscribers right now. So if you guys want to go and subscribe to my channel, it is The Maista. I'm also on Twitter at The Maista as well. And I'm on Roblox as well. Also Maista.
Can you spell that?
Yeah, it's Myzta, The Maista.
Okay, we'll put those links in the show notes too, but just for those who might be too lazy to click in the show notes, there you go. No excuses.
And Jenni, where can everyone keep up with all of the fashion that you're creating, the partnerships that you're working on, and anything else you've got going on?
So definitely Twitter on for me. So that would be Twitter at Lovespun with 2 N's at the end. And then I just recently launched my website, which would be lovespunstudios.com. And then TikTok, which would be lovespun.xo. And soon, hopefully, I will have my YouTube a little bit more active. I've got like one tutorial on there, so I'm not going to throw that one out there. But that's where you can find me and anything that I do. Shout at me if you want to, see something fashion-y or something, or just create or follow, whatever you want to do.
I have a question too.
Yes, of course.
Are you guys going to go make Roblox accounts so that we can friend you?
I feel like I have to now. I definitely want to check out everything that's been going on there. I, like Brittany, haven't really spent time in Roblox. I played like ages ago, but clearly the platform's a different place today than when I first played very early in my career. But yeah, we definitely should keep up. We would love to hear what you're working on, and maybe you guys can give us a little crash course in the best places to play and the best experiences that you have found. I would love to hear about that.
Mermaid life. That's one place to start.
Wow. I will agree with that. I am biased, but I will agree with it.
I am biased too.
Well, I wouldn't say you're completely biased because I was looking and you have a 91.3% approval rating for Mermaid Life. So
we're trying our best.
That's pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. Yeah. Not many game devs can say that they have 90s. Well, then let's wrap up this conversation. Once again, thank you so much to both Anne and Jenni for taking the time to chat with Britt and I on the show today on this very special episode of What's Good Games. As Britt mentioned, we'll put all of the links to find both of them in the show notes below. Go check out their games. Go check out their fashion and their social profiles. And I guess we all need to start a What's Good Games community on Roblox.
Yeah,
you should. Definitely.
We'll make it happen.
Thank you guys for having us.
Well, like I told you, Andrea, I sure learned a heck of a lot during this interview. It was so nice for Anne and Jenni to join us and in layman's terms kind of explain what it is Roblox is and does and the opportunities it provides. What about you? What did you learn? Like, what was like your main takeaway?
My biggest takeaway, honestly, was the joy and the positivity that they talked about, that they experience within their communities. And I just loved that they loved each other's work and that they both were like, no, you're amazing. No, you're amazing. And that they're inspired by the work that each of them are doing. And I think for me, looking at what Anne does and how early she got started, I mean, talking about building her own game at the age of 13 is like
the ambition,
like,
oh my God.
I think it's a wonderful example of how if you have the passion and the desire, there are tools out there for you. And I love that video game technology is in that place now that makes it so accessible. I think that's like my big takeaway is that I didn't realize how many young people are looking at Roblox as a platform for saying, hey, maybe this is where my career in video game development begins. And I think that that's wonderful. So a big thank you to the team at Roblox for setting this up. And once again, to Anne and Jenni, their links on how to follow them and their sites are in the show notes down below. And we hope that you guys enjoyed this special episode. Let us know in the comments below. And we will see you guys back in the studio next week. Bye, everybody.